You know, yesterday, a young man came to me after church, and he sounded a bit. I'm not sure. I won't say he's angry, but he was accosting me. He's like, "Yeah, Bernard, you know, the Ghana, no, it go be." I'm like, "Why are you asking me this question?" Me, I brought my kids to church. I won't go. I said, "No, Charlie, but you guys, every time you come on air, yeah, we should work Ghana, whatever. But do I think Ghana will be Ghana?" He said, "Do I think Ghana will work in his lifetime?" And I said, why are you asking me this question? You know, it's like, no, because of the kind of things we say on air. You know, I ask him what he does. I said, well, he's an engineer, he has his own firm. So it's not like he's an unemployed guy or something. He sounded very intelligent, but it's like he doesn't think Ghana would work in his lifetime. You know, and he didn't say he wanted to leave the country, but I got the impression, I was like, Charlie, the way that Ghana has become, he thinks that it's better to leave than to stay. You know? And I thought about the question. And first thing, I think a lot of young people are justified in thinking about Ghana like that. You know, when you get to a point where you start thinking about whether your country will work, it means you are no longer local. You know, in the past you can be in a village and say, well, let me just leave the village and come to Accra, everything will be okay. Or you can be in some school, or you can be with a step parent who's maltreating you. And so if I leave and go to my real parents, things will be better. You see. But for a young person to now ask whether the whole Ghana will be, do you understand my point? So it means that he's come to a point where he feels the country is not working. All right. And I think first we need to acknowledge the feeling of young people. We shouldn't, and you know, I wasn't dismissive. I was in a hurry to go home. So I didn't really engage the guy, but I feel like I probably should have spent a bit more time listening to him. Okay. I think the first thing we need to ask young people is, how do they feel about their country? How do young people feel about their country? You know, I think that's where we should start this discussion from. How do young people feel about Ghana? Do they believe in Ghana? Do they believe that Ghana will work in their lifetime? If they say Ghana will work, what does it really mean? If they say a country works, what does it mean? You, Caleb, talk to young people, so I'm sure you are in a better position to talk about how young people feel about the country. But one of the things I like to know from young people is, if you say the country, like the guy asked me, Ghana no be what does it mean? Ghana be here? No, what does it mean that he will make money? Does it mean that what does Ghana be here mean? Is it to mean that his children will grow up, get a job to do? You get me? What does it mean? Say Omaina ye. You get it? Is it like the countries like Japan? They are inventing things. They are in the bullet trains. Or so if somebody lives in Ebri or Manfe and is doing a basic job of a plumber and he earns 1,500 a month, he has a wife and 2 kids and they are in school, is it bad? I'm trying to just understand when people say they are disappointed about the country. Not as if I don't know. What areas of disappointment are they looking at? Is it the economics? Is it the social life? Is it the healthcare? Is it the educational system? When people say Ghana, what are they asking? Is it the politics? I got the sense the guy was frustrated about everything. You know? So young people, please talk to me today. When you say Ghana, what do you mean? So I don't know. You can send me a voice note. And Sky, I'm coming to something. With that. You know, when we read the story about the UK and the Home Office and the treatment meted out to immigrants,
the health worker, from Ghana.
You know, I was tempted, and I said, "Oh, they should stay. They shouldn't go." But sometimes you need to think carefully about the thing before you talk. You know, because which is why I'm trying to get people's realities. Okay, because I sitting here, I have a lot of options. Okay, so not everybody has the opportunities I have, in the sense that I got lucky to work in a job that you can say makes use of my talent. And I had a boss that believed in me, and I had a company that was ready to allow me to grow and learn. You get it? So I've been able to build my life. I'm not the most comfortable person in the world, but I can see that I'm not that bad. All right. So is it fair if I use my frame of reference to tell people to stay in Ghana and that Ghana will be? So if they ask me whether Ghana be a year, am I honest if I say yes? or am I just being presumptive? You get me? It's a question it's been eating me up. So when I told the guy that, oh yeah, Ghana go be, was I just being flippant, or did I really think through? Because do I really believe Ghana will be? Do you see where I'm coming from? And when I say Ghana will be, what do I mean? It's something I've been thinking about for a while. I don't know what you guys think, whether Ghana will be. But when they say Ghana be, what does it mean? Is it an economic question? Social, political question? What is it?
I think it's all of those things put together. If you read people like Dambisa Moyo, the argument is made that Africa has become worse off since the creation of the Bretton Woods institutions, the idea of aid coming in, and then also the recent wave of things, democracy, being celebrated as the solution to Africa's problem, when in fact it is dragging the continent down in many ways. Look, what do people want? People want to wake up in the morning, have the best of healthcare, be able to afford the quality of education that everybody desires, send their kids to school, make sure they are able to put 3 square meals, on the table for themselves and the family. They want to be assured or guaranteed of their security. If an armed robber invades their home, they want the police to be able to respond in good time to deal with that situation, arrest the person, carry out investigations, ensure that justice is delivered with dispatch. Again, if there's fire in their home, they believe or they expect that the fire service will report in good time to deal with the situation. And if insurance people have to pay for the property or take care of whatever
things work.
Exactly. Things work.
Society where things
Water is delivered. Electricity is on 24/7. Gas, you don't run into a station and there are issues with gas supply. Petrol prices are not, vacillating between right and left, just like that. Those are the kinds of things that people expect in a country that actually works. That when a politician is arrested for misgovernance or misallocation of funds or for misbehavior, unemployed people or even those who are underemployed or those who are, employed, do not storm the police station to say that release the person. That responsible politicians do not tell their followers to beat up security officers who are fighting illegal mining. Because people have to go about their duties and ensure that things are done properly. Yet in this country, we have all kinds of people who are not doing what they are supposed to do, and at the end of the day, just benefiting from the chaos as we see it.
So when young people say Ghana, so your view is that things don't work
the way they have to.
Things don't work the way they have to.
Yes. And it is an arrangement.
Is that enough reason to leave? I'm asking this because there's a difference between things not working and then losing hope. So let me use a different example. You can be in a marriage that's not working, but that doesn't mean you should leave it. But you can be in a marriage where things have gotten to a point where they will not work, then you leave. You get the point. So like if you look at the way people process divorce, it's a very bad example, but I'm using that because people can get it. You can be in a marriage where the relationship is strained, things are not working, you are not happy, you don't talk, everything is on way, but you're still in a marriage, you are not happy. But you get to the point you say, you know what, I'm better off leaving this marriage than staying, because if I stay in this marriage I'll die. So our Ghanaians at the first stage I described is not working, or they have gotten to Caleb. Are your young people at a stage where things are not working and therefore they are frustrated, or they've gotten to a point where they are like, you know what, let me leave because I've lost hope? Where do you think the emotion is?
But a lot of people have lost hope. And especially because now we are in a social media age, people are exposed to places they are not. People are seeing more things. And so a lot of the times you are caught between the feeling of, am I being left behind? Are my peers leaving me behind? With all that I know, with all that I can do, with the quality of work I can put out there, is there something I am missing? Do you understand? So you know that you are working very hard, but at the end of the month, all your earning are going into fuel, and you have to rent, you have to go for a loan. You're not eating quality food because then the cost of the food is going up, the quantity is reducing, the quality of transport is not good. But if you're walking on the street and you fall down, you fall right now, and there's an emergency, I mean, if you are not known, will you get emergency response? How the system treat you? Do you understand? So if you're watching the news, you hear that, oh, someone was moving, he collapsed, they wanted to fly the person out of the country. Why were we trying to fly the person out of the country? Would an ordinary person get access to these kinds of services? Do you understand? You're looking like at the opulence lifestyle of the people who are supposed to be creating a better life for all of us collectively. If I put in hard work in my own country, would I get a semblance of the results that my peers elsewhere are doing?
So
I know that times are not the same.
When they ask that question, they answer it in the negative.
Clearly.
That they don't see salvation. They don't see how things will get better. So they have to leave.
But my brother is currently not in the country.
80?
Yeah.
How long has he been away?
This year, the beginning of this year.
He decided he was going to leave.
He has 2 boys. You know, and any time I visit the boys, their mother, I'm really thinking, you know, if me, I have children, why would I want to leave this country?
But to leave
because you are working so hard. So you are working hard here.
The system is not going to reward all his hard work.
Listen.
So he started a new job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he thinks that will be better for him.
And it's so difficult because for me, you know, around all the people around me, a lot of people want to leave. And you see, the quality of life for everyone also depends on your social network. So if everyone around you wants to leave, it's very sad.
So why are they losing hope? Okay, I get the point about things not working and things being difficult. So are they leaving to come back or leaving for good? Because I'm coming to the issue of hope now.
Yeah.
Because there's a place for leaving to better yourself. There's a place for leaving to add value. But there's also a place of saying, I'm not coming back to this godforsaken country ever again. But I'm going to make sure everybody who's connected to me gets to live as well. Are they more, I'm going to do better and come back, or I'm going to do better and come and carry you too?
You see, I used to think that a lot of the people who want to live, especially young people, are guys, because then we are sort of like breadwinners or the one going to start family. Now, all the young ladies you talk to, everyone wants to go and work, wants to go and live there. Because then if you go
and not come back and
not come back.
So they will live there.
Bernard.
Where? Which country?
Bernard, how much does it cost to buy a car in this country? And if you're importing that car, which road are you coming to drive on with that car? I went to DVLA to renew my roadworthy last week. I was so upset because the road I drive on is not worthy of the car.
And the car to
you understand? You don't say it plenty. So the system is not giving hope. You see, at your most vulnerable, how will this country come for you? That's the most important thing. When you are vulnerable and you call the police, how quickly will they come for you? When you are sick and you fall down and you go to the hospital and the nurses don't know you, they don't know you. You don't have a name. You are just an ordinary person.
So when you were following that discussion involving the Ghanaian who said a Dutch passport is worth more than a Ghanaian PhD, what were people saying? What were the young guys saying about that?
But clearly, a lot of people thought that they would leave if they had the chance instead of pursuing a PhD.
So they support the guy.
Yeah, a lot of people support.
They support the guy that if you were given a Dutch citizenship versus a Ghanaian PhD, you would take the Dutch citizenship.
They would, because at the end of the day, the understanding is that, which is true. I mean, the understanding is that, like I said, if you're a PhD holder and you are in Ghana and you have an emergency, it's not written on your forehead that you have a PhD. How will the system take care of you?
That's absolute bollocks.
I understand.
No, because
I understand.
What is that?
But Bernard, do you get it?
We are expressing opinion. Why are you trying to?
The system should be equitable enough for everyone.
So most
based
people
on their contributions. Yeah.
Supported his claim that a Dutch citizenship or a Dutch passport was worth more than a Ghanaian.
It gives you access to more countries.
But does it depend on which kind of PhD it is?
Clearly, and also because a lot of our PhD holders are consultants for international organizations.
It's completely
money PhD. And it's a very difficult.
You see that I'm even sad. Very, very sad that we are even mainstreaming in the first place. This conversation.
No, there's nothing like mainstream. The conversations are the same. See, the people you are telling me are disappointed that things are not working are the same people who are saying that they prefer that citizenship to the PhD. So you shouldn't dismiss it. You have to understand, where are they coming from? Why will somebody say he prefers the citizenship of another country to his own citizenship, and even rate that citizenship alone higher than having a PhD.
It's
the highest academic.
It's absolute ignorance.
No, you're right. Your approach is wrong.
No, Bernard, it's absolute ignorance.
Is why?
No, Bernard, you see,
why is it ignorance?
Bernard, it is ignorance. It is ignorance, and
of their own reality.
It has very low expectation of himself to come to the conclusion that because you are living in someone's country, and without any disrespect to people who are in the space of sanitizing, public latrines and all of that, because you are doing that in somebody's country over time, and because you are married to someone who is not of your kind, and therefore you have family there, and now that you have been given citizenship of that country, that value you derive from that is worth more than a PhD holder in Ghana. It's absolutely bullocks. And brother,
what is bullocks? It is my brother.
It is completely unacceptable to come to the conclusion. Why the reason is look, any human being worthy of something or nothing can go into a public latrine and begin to work there. Over time, gain a citizenship of that country he's working with. However, it is not just any buffoon who gets to become a PhD holder.
Mind your language.
No,
take your time. When you get emotional, then you spoil the discussion.
I understand.
I don't like the way
but hold on.
You lie and come back.
Hold on. You see, the reason I'm passionate about it, look,
your passion shouldn't use words like bollocks.
Hold on. You see, we need to put things where they have to be put.
You don't.
The reason is that people go through a lot, you understand, to acquire so much knowledge.
But you know what people go through to get to Holland to scrap toilet?
No, hold on.
What are you talking about? Like, where are you coming from?
If that is a self-actualization, so be it. You understand? But what I'm saying is that you cannot, merely because you have reached your stage called self-actualization, put down PhD holding in that manner. And I did not
putting it down, or is asking people to comment.
No, he made a statement to the effect that, and brother, I'm really sad even having this conversation. It is so much disrespect to the people who have worked so hard as to research, as to put documents before politicians, policymakers, hoping that these documents and policy decisions they are discussing will transform our country.
Let's not take it out of context. The first thing I said was that a young person came to me after church yesterday and wanted to know why I come on air and tell people to stay in Ghana.
Yes, that's
and then he wanted whether Ghana will work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now is that not the same line of thinking that can probably this guy who's gone to get that citizenship? He lost hope in Ghana and left.
Merely because you acquired the citizenship of a country that is better off in terms of economic, whatever, does not mean without more that you are successful and that you are doing well. There are citizens in Netherlands, where he is, who are sleeping rough on the streets.
It's true.
I go to the West every now and then, and I see people struggling to survive. They ask you, the person from a black continent, oh, do you have a dollar? Do you have a pound to spare? These are citizens of that. They were born there. They did not acquire it by reason of immigration or migration. They are there by reason of their forefathers coming from them.
Let me get you right. While you agree that people have lost hope, they are frustrated, and they may even want to leave, your departure is when you leave and get your Dutch citizenship or whatever, you don't come in and now start denigrating those who are here. So you are saying, yes, if somebody is frustrated and want to leave, you can understand why they are frustrated. But that's where it ends.
Yes.
Your citizenship of another country and your better offness, using another way, should not lead you to now start saying that, oh, Ghana cry, if you get PhD cry, it means nothing. That's an overreach.
Yes, that's an overreach.
Okay, so I think that explains the position well. I'll take some voice notes on this. I want to ask young people this morning, how do you feel about Ghana? Okay, do you have hope that things will work in your lifetime? And where do you see yourself in the Ghana equation? Because one of the questions I asked the guy was, why is he thinking that somebody is going to fix the country for him? That's what I also said. I said, bro, you are an educated guy, so you can't say Ghana could be. You are asking the question as if you are outside the answer. Do you understand? Don't ask the question. If you had asked me, can we make Ghana work again?
How do we do that?
But to ask me whether Ghana will be, and therefore whether you should stay or not, it means you don't have a part in the question. And I said, no, I don't agree with that, because you are an educated young man, an engineer. So you should be able to say, can we work to make Ghana? If you get to a point where you think your efforts are in vain, and therefore you are living is different. But don't ask me if Ghana will work again as if you are some stranger. you are a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ghana is going to work, I do know that there are people with more agency, elected leaders, duty bearers. Obviously, they have a bigger responsibility. I understand this, okay? But that does not also mean that we don't have a role to play. Do you understand? So it's a very complicated conversation. Hopefully, we'll break it down shortly as the show progresses. What do we mean when we ask, will Ghana work? How do young people feel about Ghana? Is it just that things are not working or they've lost hope? Here are some of your comments. First, I'll bring you some voice notes. And the provocative question was whether a Dutch citizenship is worth more than a Ghanaian PhD. Sky thinks it's an insult. A lot of people actually feel like you should take your time. Don't get angry. Try and understand where the guy is coming from. And don't get angry about this matter. We are not saying PhD is useless, but we are saying that what the Dutch citizenship has given the guy, some people with PhD have not gotten. That's what they are saying. They are not saying that the PhD is not bad. The way you vex, they be like you plan to get PhD, so you vex.
Bernard, good morning to you and Richard Delasky and all of you, including your wonderful producer. I'm just listening to your program. And Bernard, this question, the answer is straightforward. I mean, how can we compare Ghana to Europe? I mean, having said that, look, Ghana is where we come from. I know I was born and raised in Ghana. But when I was in Ghana, I was working with VRA before I got married, and then I moved to UK in 2010. Then I can tell you that there is hope being in Europe than in Ghana. Look, I can decide not to work in my entire life, like now. I will never sleep outside. Look, my life will not be miserable. This is a country where they think about their citizens. This is a country they think about the future of the children. I have 3 children, 2 boys, 1 daughter. My first boy is in secondary school. Bernard, the future is so bright. You see, I'm not saying this to entice people to leave their country and go and serve in other countries. Sometimes I work in one of the universities in Sheffield near Manchester as maintenance engineer, and I can tell you I'm enjoying my job. But sometimes you are listening to you guys every day. I have my earbuds on me whilst working on campus, and I'm listening to you guys from morning till afternoon. Always I listen to you guys. It's just that I don't get time to continue. Sometimes I feel like, why am I here using my strength, my knowledge to serve this country? This is a first world country, and my country is in rain. But then there's nothing I can do, because you rightly said last week that we are not helping ourselves. Our leaders are not helping. The citizens are not helping. Come and see. How can somebody live in Ghana and survive? How can somebody live in Ghana and survive? I just saw a video about a couple of minutes ago. East Legon rich men club, escorting Asantehene to go and greet the government. And if you look at the cars that these guys are driving, my goodness, you will never see this in this part of the world. Showing off like this. Showing off like this. Look at our roads. I'm telling you, Bernard, in 10 years to come, all these cars that we are seeing, these luxurious cars that we are seeing, will be locked up in garages because we are not having any road networks, Oh, Jesus. Bernard, I'm telling you, play this audio. Tell the youth, if you get opportunity, just travel, because there's no hope in Ghana. there is no hope in Ghana.
Bernard, my brother, good morning. I like the conversation. In fact, I must be very honest with you. For the past 3 months, whenever I get up, whenever I pray, the question is that, do I go back or stay in this country? I hold a PhD in software engineering. I do 1 or 2 national assignments, and I drive a 2005 Mercedes car. 2005. My concern here is that a lot of my guys came back to Ghana, and about 80% of them are gone. And they take pictures. Some of them, even the cars they drive, brand new cars, 2023, 2024. And I'm here. And sometimes, even a common iPhone, do I buy it outright from my salary or make some savings? Yes, over there they have mortgage. Over there, the cost of living is a little bit down comparably. But if I should go for loan, 32%, government worker, how feasible is this? How many years am I going to service this loan to buy a car? Just imagine buying a 2023 car. Bernard, my concern even in the youth who are not employed, who are looking for a job. So this question, I'm just listening. After the conversation, I will decide whether to still leave or stay. Thank you.
Hello, Bernard. This whole argument about, fix yourself when you ask that the country be fixed, I don't really get it. No, it's just like being at home and your children are going wayward and you're asking your children to fix themselves. Who does it take to fix the children? You, the parents, ought to fix the children. So it takes people in leadership to actually put solutions to problems. We as citizens can only do just so much, but then it takes so much to actually do what it takes to, to build a country, and that is leadership. So if you put people in leadership and they are not doing right, you're asking citizens to fix themselves. I'm not too sure about this. Let's not play the ostrich. We know Ghana's problem. It is leadership. Why do we put people in position? Let's call them to duty. And people have been cowed into, being, how do I even put it? People have actually been cowed into being timid. When you are bold enough to speak up easily, they will find a way to just, push you into the corner. No, if an engineer is asking this question, he's actually gotten to the point where he realized that he can't do anything anymore. So that is where he is. It's not a question about when he gets to a place where, he can't do anything. Then that is where we are as a country. Let's stop pretending, Bernard. I don't know why we keep going around in circles. Good morning.
Aloski, it's not easy. Honestly, it's like we don't have a future with the young ones in this country. To get a job in this country, unless you know somebody from the top or you belong to a political party. So what of those of us who are not in any political party? So it is very, very, very sad for some of us. Imagine we are 6 in the family. Our parents gave birth to 6, but now none of us has a proper education. We force, but none of us. Alaska is not easy. It's not easy to be in Ghana. God bless us all.
So I'm listening to the discussion, and it's a good question that Bernard is asking. And I think it's a manner of speaking. Because, first of all, you ask yourself, what is the means of citizens getting involved in politics? I know that you guys have talked about, the district assemblies and us middle-class people running for those offices. But with the way the structure is now, even those places have become politicized. So, I mean, it's easier for an American washed-out rapper to meet my president than it is for me, an ordinary Ghanaian, to do so, right? How do you, if you have ideas, how do you let the political class know that, okay, you know, it would be great if, for example, people who work on your passport, you know the person who's working on it, and they can be surcharged if they delay more than 12 days, if that's the standard time, or how do the citizens get involved, right? And then on the economic front, I mean, even those people who are earning, let's say, I don't know, $1,000 a month are not finding it easy because, like, the inflation is so bad, the cost of living is so high, there's no middle, right? So I often complain that there's not much you can do, for example, in Accra without spending money, especially if you have a child, right? We seem to be doing well, but the quality of life is really reducing, right? And every day you hear of new scandals, right? So even children's park or parks and gardens is being sold to a private developer. So the things that the ordinary person will enjoy, things that are easily accessible, no longer are. So it's like if you don't have money in Ghana, you're going to have a very terrible quality of life. But if you have money, you're good. But even then, like, the roads are bad, there's no water, there's no electricity, nothing is working. So it's understandable if somebody wants to leave the country. My 2 cents.
And Bernard, once again, Justice Charlie, hey, me, I'm ready for a one-on-one debate with Richard, the last guy on this matter. Sure. Charlie, Bernard, people are suffering, now, don't you look at the stories? People are traveling from here to Europe, that's to Italy. They are going by road, passing through Cote d'Ivoire, passing through Togo, going through Benin, going through Niger, the Sahara Desert, Agadez, whatever. They will pass through and go to Libya. The things that they go through, they will be put at the back of a pickup. The documentaries are there, and how they arrange them in the pickup with locks tied to their. They will pass through. You are losing your life. When you fall down, you are falling down. They are leaving you. People are extorting money from them. Libya, no man's land. They work. They don't pay them. They can shoot you. They can kill you. And they will sit on the boat when they get to Libya to pass through that long distance to Italy. If they are lucky and they get rescue team from Italy, then they are okay. But if the Libyan people come to rescue them, they take all their money, put them in prison, beating. People are being beaten to call home to bring money. That is Europe. Those who are using Brazil to go to USA, they will go through Brazil. They will go through.
Wow. So many more comments coming up on the issue. Sobering discussion. Now, I want to read some text messages I've received from people, some of whom I know personally. All right. And these messages, some of them say I shouldn't mention their name because they don't want their wives to hear.
They are plotting behind their wife.
So, for example, this guy is a doctor. He said, Bernard, I'm 35, a specialist doctor with a supposedly good salary. I was caught in a web of thinking about my continuous stay in Ghana the whole of yesterday as I drove from Accra to Tamale for an outreach. On my last count, over 80 of the 141 of my colleagues who finished medical school over 10 years ago have left the country.
Yes.
Guys,
80.
Do something for me. Do 80 over 141 times 100. I want to see the percentage while we do the discussion. Most left on account of hardships they face in GH, even with the supposedly good salary doctors receive. Countries they move to: USA, Canada, UK, Australia, Ireland. Please don't mention my name. My wife may be listening. I promise the family I'm not leaving until we all fix the mess here. The answer is 70 what?
56.7.
So about 57% of his mates have left. Doc, I won't mention your name, okay? So let me read another one. These
That's
are people.
a truly sad one, you know.
Bernard, let me finish the message. Bernard, please tell Sky to take it easy. I worked in the banking space for 17 years and rose to senior managerial role. Due to corporate backbiting, I had to move out and handling other stuff. It's so hard to start a business because if you ain't careful, your capital will erode. I qualified to work at the likes of BOG and I've applied for years, but no success. Yet, you see some people without level of qualification heading there. At the moment, but for the fact that I saved well, I may end up struggling. I have 10-year visa to Canada and 5-year to the States. I have a family. So if things ain't going well, and I know I can use school route to get out of this God-forsaken country, why will I stay? So I say, bro, don't rush. Take them easy. Good morning, Bernard. Interesting discussion. As for things getting better in Ghana, it can if we all agree to hold our leaders accountable, regardless of political colors, if we allow our institutions to work, etc. But I will never leave Ghana. I don't have a PhD. I have a law degree. I work in the judicial service. How do I leave to go and clean the toilet and wash bowls? Everyone in their reality. Those who want to leave to wash bowls have no time engaging the young man who thinks it's better to have a visa than a PhD. It's like many people who obviously are struggling who will support him. If that's their reality, fine. Ghana needs work. We must all come on board. Hello, Bernard. Your query regarding the expectations of young individuals is indeed a significant one. The prevalent trend among Generation Z is to engage in frequent social gatherings, approximately 4 nights a week, indicative of a desire for a more relaxed lifestyle. This is worth examining. Many within this demographic question the necessity of enduring stress under supervisors within a traditional office setting. They perceive life as centered around becoming content creators, viewing the conventional 9-to-5 work structure as tedious and uninspiring. There is a prevailing sentiment among some youth that content creation holds the key to societal progress and that individuals should prioritize this avenue over conforming to traditional work norms. While acknowledging the substantial role our leaders play in shaping the future, it is noteworthy that the youth fascination with projecting an idealized existence on social media platforms contributes to their stress and disillusionment. In conclusion, exploring and addressing the expectations and aspirations of the younger generation, especially in light of their views on work, social dynamics, and leadership, is crucial for understanding the evolving societal landscape and nurturing Charlie, bro. I don't know, okay.
But this is true. But the reality is that if you're even going to do this content creation thing we are talking about, you need to put in the hard work. So it doesn't come cheap like that. So the idea that young people think, I mean, it's just chipping in briefly that it is also very, very hard work.
Good morning, Bernard. My daughter is in the second year in the UGBS, is listening. She didn't understand when the man said the future is bright for his children abroad. She believes that the future is bright for her in Ghana. She said it's the mindset.
Oh.
We can still survive in Ghana.
That's beautiful.
That's what she said.
That's beautiful.
I'm still reading more comments.
Bernard, there is one here. Good morning. I am a 38-year-old associate professor here in Ghana. I spent close to a decade in Europe, and in 2016 I convinced my wife for us to return to Ghana. It has been challenging but equally rewarding. I feel and understand why many young people want to leave Ghana. Basic quality healthcare is out of reach for the ordinary person. Education is in disarray and infrastructure is non-existent. Ghana will not stand by you when you are down. That is why many young people want to run away. As for the Dutch passport and PhD discussion, it is neither here nor there. It is neither here nor there. It's a matter of aspirations, opportunities, and really what each individual considers important. I hold a Ghanaian passport, but I've never struggled to travel, and I have roamed a lot. We do not have leaders in Ghana, which is why the youth want to leave. We need leaders.
This is a very sad one. This guy did furniture for me.
Okay.
I won't mention his name. He's a boss. Even me that I'm doing okay with my business, I've secured visas for my wife and 3 kids. After elections, boom. It move. More comments on this.
Call it move.
So there's this one. Good morning, Bernard. I think Sky should put himself in the shoes of the youth in Ghana in terms of available equal opportunities for all. Ghana is now a protocol to whom you know system, where it takes divine help to get basic opportunities. Let me give you an example. I left Ghana over 30 years ago after working several years as a trained teacher. When I was posted, it took me 10 months to get my salary. And had it changed since or gotten worse? Meanwhile, my son finished his LLB and decided, instead of going straight to do his professional law, wanted to see the other side of the justice system by becoming a graduate prison officer with a master's degree as part of the recruitment which took place before he finished university. As at now, he's in the process of purchasing his first mortgage at age 24. Do you think such could have happened in Ghana if he was still to be there? So Yao is in UK, who said he is a teacher who took 10 months to get his posting. His son in the UK is working with the prison system just to see how it feels. And he's 24. His son is doing well.
In the meantime, Bernard, if you want to go to Ghana, wherever, the services we have, you want to go and serve, you want to enlist as an officer, the money you will be asked to pay, the money people will charge you before you can go through the process. It's something that is happening and nobody's doing anything
Before
about it.
I play more voice note, let me read another one. Bernard, until people like you and I step up to provide the right kind of leadership to the country, a Dutch passport will be more valuable than a Ghanaian PhD. When you get to the airport, your passport is checked to grant or refuse you entry and not your PhD. A Ghanaian PhD holder has to prove himself about 10 times more to be recognized compared to a half-baked Dutch PhD holder. Leaders have to do the hard work of thinking and taking the tough decisions like it's been done in Rwanda, Botswana, and the like to bring dignity to the Ghanaian passport. Until then, we will always be the runt of the litter. Even here in Africa, some countries are suspicious of Ghanaians because of poor leadership. While we debate this point though, cattle are roaming freely in the middle of the Temamoto way. Like you said last week, we have imposters parading as leaders. It's the one he's texting that thing. Cows are also doing their own thing.
When there was a lecture and there was a presentation done, here's a quick one, a survey that the lecturer did. Have you ever considered leaving Ghana to work abroad?
Mm-hmm.
His sample size, there were 323 people said yes.
Mm-hmm.
29 people said no. That is 89.7%. 140 out of 164 married people have considered leaving. And then 187 out of 195 single people have considered leaving. That's 95%. So a lot of people are really looking forward to leaving using the... And this is Dr. Frank Serebo. He's the president of the Ghana Medical Association. He did the presentation. And he said...
More comments coming in. Sky, let's read some of them.
Yeah,
I wanted to do some more voices.
Okay, so there's this one coming in from Komla, and he says that, good morning, bro. I am the GM of a company.
Mm-hmm.
When I left to do Papapa in the US, I was getting $6,000 a month.
In the US?
Yes. In Ghana, my income is less than $1,000.
Hey!
Now I want to relocate permanently. Ghana will not work in our lifetime.
Oh!
He said, laugh out loud.
Oh, bro, don't talk like that.
No, Bernard, but why? My friend says he was asked to pay 20,000 Ghana cedis to get into the military. Where does this happen?
In Ghana?
Yes. Where
Let's
does this
read
happen?
more comments. This one says, what Caleb said is exactly how I feel as a 27-year-old person. I'm being left behind. Justice from Medina. This one says, if we compare Ghana now to Ghana in 2000 or 1980, are we better off or worse off? That would be the best way to assess our situation and prove if Ghana will work or not. How different is our economy, politics, cost of living, education, healthcare, etc., compared to decades ago? If you want to think, you go make them. What if you? I don't know. I don't understand that bit. Okay, that one is coming in from Courage in Koforidua, and this one says, "Good morning, Bernard. Even me, I'm almost 40 years old with a family. I have lost hope.
Oh.
I regretted not leaving this country 12 years ago when I finished my first degree and my friends were leaving. Hard work in Ghana is useless.
Oh.
In fact, I prefer leaving now than regretting more later."
But by the way, are leaders listening to these messages?
No, they are busy arranging visas for their
Their
constituents and their children to leave.
Bernard, you see, Bernard,
Because if your citizens... Because, Sky, you see, Somebody says he who loses. There's a quote. He who loses money loses much. He who loses hope loses all. You get me? There's a quote like that. So like, hope is the last thing.
Yes.
When people lose hope,
everything is lost.
That's why Obama's book was on the audacity of hope.
Yes.
Okay. So if people lose hope in their country and they are young people, it is very bad.
It's
I don't know if the government and the leadership of the country listen to the young people.
Where do our leaders have their holidays? When they are sick, where do they receive care?
Thank you.
When they just want to go and do just go and to do shopping, where do they go? Where is their new destination these days? When they have illegal wealth and they want to hide it, where do they buy their property? Now, if you are able to answer these questions in the positive for going out there, then you come to a conclusion as to why things are the way they still are.
Let's play some voice notes. Godfrey, play a few more voice notes for me. I just want to listen to what people have to say about this. It's sobering. Look, I started the show upbeat, but I'm a bit down now, listening to people. You know, I mean, listen to this one. Sky, listen to this one. This one is from somebody you and I know. He's in the football business.
Okay.
You know, and the destination of the people who cry is what is even killing me.
Vietnam.
He said, Bernard, Nicaragua suddenly becomes a very popular destination for Ghanaians. You can guess why.
Close to America.
You get 2 years, the past 2 years especially. My chief scout's pregnant daughter paid $10,000 to be moved from Ghana to Mexico and then transported across the border with her 4-year-old son in tow.
Yeah.
She didn't even tell her father.
Yes. The land of the free.
Let's hear some more voice notes. And I want leaders to listen to this thing and not dismiss it and say, oh, people have always left. Ghanaians are lazy. Citizens are not hard. No. If your citizens lose hope, it means that you have failed as a leader. If your citizens lose hope in the country, that they will go and not come again, it's terrible. So let's hear some more.
You see, it's always very, it saddens my heart when issues like this come up. And we tend to disturb, let me put quote and unquote, these market women, and then they find, well, we know where the exact problem is coming from. Look, when you get to the farmyard, they also have their own problems with farm inputs and all these things. Okay, we are living in a system where we pay, as we are saying, as we've come to do the interviews. Obviously, tomorrow there will be a panel discussion, and people, you see, we pay people to talk. In this country, don't pay people to think. Excuse my language, but that's the reality. We use money to pursue unnecessary things. In any case, if these monies and the likes that we use to buy, look at the case of Burkina Faso just recently, what we saw. Instead of procuring V8s and unnecessary things, taking monies to go and do by-elections, they bought farm inputs to be used. So when these people are also well with their whatever they need to farm, would we be meeting such situations? So I think it's time going forward, we have to have a careful assessment of our situation. What we have to prioritize, what we need. And in any case, if Burkina Faso should be what we saw on TV the other time, in procuring farm inputs for farmers, tractors and what have you, why wouldn't they import? Why would they export tomatoes to us?
We are doing planting for food and jobs.
Well, that is another thing to talk about. Planting. Have you ever seen any meaningful thing coming out of that policy? It's very sad. Sometimes you think of these things and see that it's always a misplaced priority. Knowing, you see, when you put a policy, there has to be a mechanism to monitoring and evaluation. How far are we gone with that thing?
There is also the point about factories, so that when we produce excess, we can can them or process them and sell them, or buy them buffer, stock up, so that when it's out of season, then we can release them, so the price fluctuation is kept. Do you think that has? No, are you feeling that?
That should have been the norm, and that is what we made to know. But have you seen any processing factory all along with your work in the media terrain? Have you seen anything of that sort producing to that marginal quantum for us to benefit? We are not seeing anything.
All right, which one? What's this?
So, Bernard, just a bit of context. This was around 2 a.m. in the Central Business District. The market women were sleeping on the street. It was rainy and all of that. When the truck came from Begro, Then they had prepared themselves to go buy the bowl of tomato, which was going for 900 cedi the previous day. Mind you, they went there so early, slept out there so that they could get the thing to buy. But when the middle woman came, she sold it for 110 Ghana cedis, and the women were complaining that they have to sell. Currently, they sell 3 pieces of tomatoes for 10 cedis. So if it's jumped to 1,100, they are unable to sell. So they actually left without buying. And this man was talking about the fact that our leaders have failed to invest in our Greek properly. We are importing more tomatoes from Burkina Faso now because instead of then spend more money on buying lavish cars and things like that, they have invested in their agri. So that's the context.
Okay, but I'm still taking comments around the youth and what they feel about Ghana. And then later on, I'll tell you what's happening in Europe, by the way, because the Europe you want to go, the far right are making gains in their parliaments. And that may also mean that it may be difficult for you to even go there. And even if you go there, when the far right is in power in Europe, they have a very different view about immigration. So, but let's listen to what Ghanaians are saying first.
I'm listening to all the back and forth, and it boils down to one thing, as I always say. Nobody is disputing the fact that life is better outside than it is in Ghana. But what we are saying is, when you are given the chance of a Ghanaian PhD, all things being equal, here's a PhD, go do it, graduate. Your quality of life would definitely be better. That is just what I'm saying. And that is just what everybody else is saying. What has happened with this whole PhD versus Dutch thing is that the guy is mixing the arguments up. And for you to categorically say that you are a janitor abroad and you have opportunities makes you better than a PhD holder is where the arguments drop. The argument drops dead. Yes, you have a better quality of life, no problem about that. But you have completely watered down and spoiled the argument when you say or introduce the element of a PhD in it. How many PhD holders has he met in Ghana and interviewed? How many of them have disclosed their standard of living and their income to him? Charlie, let us elevate some of these discussions. It is the same kind of mindset that makes it easier for everybody to run slipshod over all of us. When you are unable to critically dissect an issue and separate it and put them in their right corner, situate the argument, the discussions where they are supposed to be, you end up with this watery kind of analysis and conclusion.
Good morning, Bernard. I hope you get to play this voice note. So, you see, there's more to this argument than, just being a second-class citizen elsewhere and, it not being comparable to being in your own country. I'm in my own country, okay? But I'm a woman. When I step out or when I, have an altercation with a man on the street, then the next thing he'll tell me is ashawo. But am I ashawo? No, I'm not. I'm actually a lawyer. I'm very well educated, at least, But the truck driver will tell me that I am ashawo just because he offended me and I spoke out. Just because I'm a woman, I'm ashawo. The disrespect, the road I drive on. Then to the icing on the cake is that I have a child with Down syndrome. And God knows what special mothers or special parents have to go through in this country. Once you have a child with special needs, it doesn't matter how, benign or how little the challenge is. Okay? The child is literally written off. If you don't have the financial wherewithal to invest in that child, forget it. There's no school near me. There's no hospital near me that specializes in that. If I need my child, when we started, you have to do, for children with Down syndrome, for instance, you need physiotherapy for her to be able to walk or for the child to be able to stand well, move well, put their feet on the floor well. I personally have to pay for that. Okay? Then comes speech therapy. Talk of occupational therapy. Talk of school. There are a few schools, good schools that, take care of their specific needs in a way that empowers them to be like any other child. My child, for instance, her case is not so bad. In fact, her case is not bad. She has never scored below 75 or 80% in any assessment of any of her faculties. Yet, she is literally written off. And unfortunately, I cannot pay for the kind of school that would have helped her to be a better person or to be like any other child. Because everything shows that if this child is given the opportunity, she can do just about what any other child does. Unfortunately, I cannot afford maybe $5,000 or $3,000 per term or whatever. So there's no system. We are on our own. You are literally on your own. I have had the police attack me for no reason. A policeman held me hostage from around 11 p.m. to after 5 p.m. We were on the road. Finally, when we got to the police station, what he had done was wrong. I wanted to prosecute him. Everybody said, well, next time. Then he ruined the front of my car. I had to bear all that on my own just because he's a policeman. And I'm where?
Good morning, Bernard. If you like, you can refer to me as the 666 man. 6 whips in the morning before we go to work, 6 whips in the afternoon during before break from work, and 6 whips before we sleep at night. Look, this country is done and dusted. The colonizer needs to come back. If the colonizer will not come back, we should sell the country to the colonizer. Then, during their reign as colonizers.
Yeah, Bernard, good morning. How are you and your team? I think that there's no comparison between PhD and anything in terms of passport. There's a quite difference between passport and PhD, and a lot of people are holding European and Dutch passport, and they can't even, afford a 3 square meal a day. But the fact still remains that our politicians should have to be careful these days because of the way youth are coming up, and then a lot of the youth are traveling out of the country, and they are seeing that it's possible to make it in life out there and wasted a lot of your time in Africa without surviving. I have a cousin who wasted his time. He always tells me he wasted his time for 36 years in Africa, and within 2 years in USA, he's made a lot for himself. So our youth in Ghana are quite hardworking, except that we don't have a lot of jobs here, and politicians keeps on lying to us. So this is where it has gotten to. And I'm telling you for the fact, if we are not careful as Ghanaians, one day, there will be a lot of uprising from the youth. And this is how it has started. There's a lot of uprising on social media. So this is not physical. One day you see everybody on the street, and our politicians would have to run for their life. Let's be factual that all these things that this guy is saying is just simple. Is because there's no life in Africa, there's no proper life in Ghana, and people are suffering. And for that matter, somebody who cleans toilet made a lot of money and is able to get his passport that can allow him to travel everywhere. Things that, that passport is more than a knowledge that can save people. All right, thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Richard, and Caleb. Your conversation this morning on Ghana Bay really is a conversation that resonates a lot with young people. So great discussion. My take on that. So I'm a young man. I'm still below 40. I spent 10 years, more than 10 years, let me put that way, because my company will be 10 years this year, of my life building an agro company, which over the last 2 years, I'll call it even 2 years since 2022 when the financial crisis started, has had its gains by way of, growth, by way of capital, dissipate as a result of the financial crisis. On top of my head, I can count not less than 100 micro and small businesses that have either closed down, that have either been, had to liquidate or file for bankruptcy as a result of post-COVID harsh conditions, including the current economy. Regardless of whatever anybody would say, and God bless you so much, Caleb. Caleb's, submission hit a chord. I can relate to it. And beyond the fact that systems aren't working, the bottom line is it boils down to economics. Economics. Caleb's story about his brother hits a chord with me. If I have spent, and like I said, I'm not 40, if I've spent more than a third of my life, and within 2 years, out of economic mismanagement, everything erodes and dissipates, you take a step back and think that, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And that's my take. Until we can actually fix the economic issue to give young people hope, that if I don't know any big man, and I can still put in the hard work, and I can create a decent living for my family, a family of 3, a family of 4. And currently, you can't, because of inflation, even live on 1,000 Ghana cedis, or even less. The last economic crisis within the last 2 years has eroded any gains made towards a lot of people getting into the middle income class.
We're so grateful for your voice notes. Let me read a few more comments, hopefully to put the discussion in perspective. This one is from a friend of mine. It says, Bernard, this conversation is absolutely important. In 2022, we visited almost every tertiary institution in every region in Ghana. We asked a very simple question. Will you board a ship called San Juan Batista, which is the first slave ship that took our forefathers 400 years ago? The answers were unbelievable. More than 70% of the students said they would leave. The former Minister for Education, Honorable Gift Chum, was on our trips. The issues are nuanced, but ultimately, agency is what will give hope. Many people feel they can't do anything. I disagree and completely believe in this country and think history is on our side. It's on the side of hope. What did you say? What language are you speaking?
I'm speaking Akan. I mean,
yes,
like wasting time for nothing.
Well,
if 70% or
75% of the respondents said they would leave.
I mean, do you know what it was like on those ships?
It's also because, okay, Sky, you see, it's tough. We in the media, we have a difficult job. We have to let people understand a lot of things without denying the people's reality. You see, you need to let people know, for example, when they say things have gotten worse. You look at the 80s, when people were queuing for kinky and bread. You look at the times where we were under military, where things were very tough. Some people feel we in the media don't tell them enough about their past, so they don't appreciate what they have. But now they have a reality where they see the whole world. And they're like, well, the fact that the 80s were bad doesn't mean that the 2024 should also be bad. You get it? Mm-hmm. So when 70% of the people say they will leave Ghana on that slave ship, you could say, well, it's because they don't know what slavery meant.
Yes, because perhaps we have failed I would agree with you at educating them on what it meant to be in Ghana in the 1800s.
Yeah, but when they say,
or the many centuries before
when
that,
they say that they would go on that slave ship, it's not an endorsement of slavery. It is in letting you know that the despair and hopelessness they feel today, for them, is as bad as, because they can only imagine that they didn't live it. So people process life through their own lived experience. Do you get it? So fine, it's very, very disheartening to hear that 70% of respondents, 75% said they will leave Ghana on a slave ship. Okay, but it's also a message about how they feel, and that feeling is based on the fact that there's no hope. You get it? And the leaders have failed to inspire hope. They failed. You get me? So it's tough because I need to acknowledge the people's reality without endorsing some of the wrong assumptions they make. You get it? Fine, I'm not an ordinary person. I'm on air. Now, the reason I can't lose hope is that not many people my age have the opportunity I have to try and shape a conversation every morning. So for me, I can't lose hope. Do you understand? I have the chance to almost come in and bring issues to bear. Some people don't feel. That's why the guy saw me in church and he was attacking me. It's like, you every day you're saying people should not go. But you do think Ghana will be better. And I said to him, well, what I know is that no country was fixed by people who left. Even if they left, they had to come back. Do you get it? And somebody built that country. It may be rich for me to say it because, well, I'm privileged, quote unquote. But that doesn't explain away the fact that we all have a role to play.
Bernard, you are not privileged. You see,
not privileged financially.
No, I understand that.
The position is a privileged position.
No, you see, you did not just wake up one morning from Medina and then came to sit here. You also had your difficult moments and work your backside off to get to where you are presently. It was not handed to you just because somebody assumed that, oh, just come and do it. There must have been a reason why you were put here. I understand fully the difficulties of the people who are listening. I was in their position too. Yeah. I was in their position too.
Sold bread, did meat.
Yes, I came from nowhere. Yes, to the city of Accra.
First time he came to Accra was like 1990 something.
It wasn't an easy road. But today, I can afford to go and learn somewhere, come back and contribute my quota. I've not decided to leave merely because, I think that it is better
but
than...
can we cut those who want to leave some slack? Because they also, you see, Sky, and this is how I see it. Everybody will do what they need to do to improve their life.
That's true.
So you left Adafi and came to Accra. Now you've made it, you've gone to abroad and come. If somebody says it's not working for me, I have a master's degree, I can't get a job, I'm going to leave. We cannot begrudge them.
No, I'm not saying that don't leave. I'm not saying, my position is that don't leave. I appreciate that things are horribly bad.
So what's your position then?
My position is that, you see, when you elevate it to, or you reduce it to the very pedestrian level of saying that, someone with a certain...
that's my... They bore you.
Yes.
No, but the guy has explained it away. The guy has done the work.
I understand that.
That is the vex you.
Yeah, because, you see, Bernard, if you go online...
It's okay.
And you see the masses of our people endorsing that position.
Which is what the guy said. The guy said, you see, you are right. And I okay, I'm not cutting you. But this guy... The guy... had a misplaced argument. Yes. Sometimes he caricatured the discussion. But that's why, you see, we are here to bring, you see, you can bring out the juice out of a wrong discussion.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
The guy caricatured the issue and compared oranges with apples. Yeah. But the fundamental question is, do people have hope in their country? Do people value citizenship of being a Ghanaian? And I think that question, irrespective of what the guy compared the PhD to, is a valid question today. And for me, what worries me is when young people lose hope in their country or their continent, it is a serious situation.
Let me tell you something. You see, there are times people think that it is all rosy out there. You go out there and speak to the Ghanaians who are living there. Many of them, I'm not going to the business, or I'll not go into the business of telling them, most of them. Many of them can't even have a decent place to lay their heads. The room that we are living in, the room that we are sitting in right now, right, having our discussion, is where many of them are living in. sharing bathhouses, sharing washrooms, sharing kitchen with other people, right? And are struggling to pay their monthly, rent. Some cannot even afford to travel back home when their parents are either ill or someone very important to them has departed us, because they simply cannot afford it. The point has got to be made that it is not always the case that the grass is greener there.
They want to find out for themselves.
That's okay.
Don't be the one to tell them not to go. In fact, somebody said I should tell you that, Bernard, the first time I came to us in Accra, that Ghana was better than this time. So the country has been messed up. So that you came to Accra in 2000 or 99. Instead that Accra you came to know, it's better than the Accra is inside today. Here's a guy you and I know. He said, Bernard, I have left unwillingly, but the future looks bleak for me in Ghana. You know me to be an industrious person. I have tried different things to no avail since 2012 when I finished my national service. I'm patriotic to the core, but things don't seem hopeful for the young millennial nor Gen Z. The route through which I left Ghana, if I tell you, you'll not be happy with me. This guy, you and I, he used to call into the show.
So he passed through Libya.
I don't know where he went.
Most likely.
Bernard, you've been saying something that I want to reiterate. That every crisis is an opportunity for leadership.
Yes.
You understand? And we've had a number of crisis situations in this country that were opportunities for us to capture and give hope to the Ghanaian people. You understand? Some of the conversations we've been having here, some of the countries we've been talking about, our peers and even younger ones who looked up to us, they've had more atrocious past and all of that. But if you look at the quality of their living, you look at the spaces they live in and how they go about life, we sometimes always wonder, where did we go wrong? There are so many opportunities that we have in this country to take advantage of, pull everyone together. We're always seeing things through partisan lenses, and it's always affecting us. So you need to take advantage of this moment where a lot of people are trying to leave their country and say, okay, let's all come together and get something properly done, because at every we are in a crisis. We are in a crisis. Individuals don't have hope in the space they call Ghana, in the space they call home. A lot of people. If that is the case,
the statistic the guy gave, I know the guy is not lying. If 75% of university students will tell you that they will leave on a slave ship,
that's serious.
It's either they don't understand slavery or Ghana is really messed up.
You see, that's where the failure is.
No, but how do you assume they don't?
You see, so history ought to have taught them that it was nothing rosy. Nothing.
But who tells you they don't know?
I don't think they appreciate that reality. They don't. You see, things...
So when we fail, so our failure is double. We've created a bad economic situation for the people, and we also miseducated them. That's what you're saying.
Most likely,
to the extent that they prefer to leave Ghana, and this is what this person is saying, on a slave ship than to stay here. Hey, then it means come become a come become a brave. Because he said we prefer freedom in what do you call it?
Servitude.
No.
Freedom in what? Something and then something in servitude.
We prefer freedom in penury than prosperity in servitude.
Yes, something like that. That's right. Yes. But you see, inherent in that.
Is he right?
Yes, inherent in that is the argument that we have a right to mismanage our own affairs.
No, be careful.
No, but that's the truth.
No, be careful.
You see, the right to self-determination includes the right to make mistakes.
Yes.
In the process of seeking to realize.
They also have a right to leave.
No, I'm not.
They also have a right to lose hope.
But you see, but
you have a right to lose hope.
No. You see, I'm saying that. Look, Ghana. You said something earlier about trying to compare marriage to Ghanaians. Of course, you admitted that it's
versus I've lost.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Of course, you admitted that it's a bad example.
Yeah.
But you see, the truth is that marriage does not confer community. Right? It's a legal status. You and somebody have decided that you want to be in that state-regulated relationship. It doesn't mean that you should live together. That is why you can leave the country and go and be somewhere else. Of course, there are conditions that are attached to marriage. By citizenship, so marriage is by choice. You have decided that you want to live with someone or you want to be in a marriage. Yes, citizenship is because your parents come from a particular place or as a result of migration and legal policy in the country you are going to. You were born there or you have lived there over time and therefore you have acquired citizenship. But again, the rights that come with you moving from some place to another place is ingredients. Right? You'll be shocked that although you carry an American passport, there are things you not access. You can only go so much. You hit overpaying. You cannot go beyond that.
People say they prefer that to, like, look at the doctors. The guy said 121 people, 41 people from his class, 80 have left to the UK and US. And you know, for me, I think the leaders of Ghana, our politicians, the MPP government, must ask themselves very seriously.
That's it.
Because, like, they came with this whole believe in Ghana thing.
But
you know, and but the guy who sent the message, one of the guys said that he's left. He used to be a strong MPP guy.
You see, that's
serious.
That is why the MPP as a party
is serious.
The MPP in government, the president of the day, and all the people who serve under the government have got to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves whether they have moved this country from where they picked it from to a better place, or they have led us to a retrogression. On the facts, if you look at the economy where we are, the level of despondency, the lack of faith in this country, you can tell yourself without any fear of equivocation or any fear of contradiction that they have messed this country up. And that is why people can boldly say that, look, they are tired of this country. Because we were all in this country in 2016. The kinds of promises that were made, the quality of claims that were made, and the assurance that things will be better off. If you look at people today, can you say with your right hand on your chest that Ghanaians have become better off? Certainly not. So you see, it is leadership failure that has gotten us here. And it is only leadership coinciding with citizens having the right mindset that will take us out of this. So the leaders
must find a way to give people hope again.
They have to.
But the problem is that people are now saying that, you see, the failure of the MPP is now being visited on all politics. In fact, they are saying that they've lost hope in politicians. In fact, when you speak to NDC people, they'll tell you that, Charlie, right now when we even go and campaign, it's not the post say, Charlie, we are tired of politicians. Because it's not just MPP. Do you understand me? So it's like, because people are like, Charlie, when he comes there, Charlie, he will do well. So it's like, what he's done, they are visiting the anger, even on NDC. Do you understand? It's beyond. So it's beyond. So I think what the politicians, what the NDC doesn't seem to get is that it's not that people are not criticizing MPP. They feel like if this can happen under Akufo-Addo, dear Charlie, it means the policies winning now. So some of the problems they are facing even in their campaign is because citizens are realizing that the changing frequently is not even helping them. Do you understand? So there are two groups. Some say we'll punish the MPP, we'll vote them out. Some people say, what are they coming to do?
Yes.
Do you understand?
So a reason for that.
It's I'm saying that when there are cycles of failure, when there are cycles of failure, it leads to an erosion in the political class of confidence. Okay, so this despair, because in the year 2000, when people voted out the NDC for the MPP to come,
because they thought
things were tough.
Yes.
But people felt like we have not experienced the MPP before, and there's a new thing we are going to see. Hopefully, things will be better. I don't know. You get it? But now they've done NDC, they've done MPP, they've done NDC. So it's like there's a certain, I don't know. And you know, people mean, okay, this is how I see it. You don't have to be ideal. Sometimes you have to work with what you are. You understand? So some are saying get a third force. Some are saying go for the next best alternative, whichever way works. But the truth is that confidence in our leaders collectively has been, and if you talk to NDC, they also tell you that even they are suffering from this economic situation the NPP has created. It's a very serious situation, you know. We'll take a few comments when we come back from Business Festival. It's not all doom and gloom, you know. We spoke to somebody who's been training young people to enter farming,
and
encouraging young people to enter agriculture.
And Bernard,
so we'll listen to that interview. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show.
Yeah, I just want to just smile at a comment I received from a former, like schoolmate of mine, Barry.
Is he in Ghana or abroad?
He is in Ghana. It's one that is uplifting.
Okay.
This is Dr. Kojo Ejepon Barry. He's schooled in Ghana. He's schooled outside, and he's doing well with business. There are difficulties.
He's a big man.
He's a big man. He's a PhD holder.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm talking about the comment that he sent.
I know.
Look, things are bad.
I know.
Things are bad.
I know.
But see, let us not lose faith in ourselves.
What did he say?
Oh, I can read the comments.
Because the Ghana
yeah, you see, so it says that today I have the honor of sharing with you my remarkable journey, my academic pursuits and professional achievements as my testament to the transformative power of education. My tertiary journey began at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, where I earned my first degree in operations and project management.
Thank you.
GIMPA is renowned for its excellence in management and public administration education. The rigorous academic environment and the emphasis on leadership and analytical skills provided a solid foundation, preparing me to tackle complex challenges and excel in various professional areas.
Okay.
Building on this robust foundation, I pursued a second degree in law at Moncrest University College. Moncrest is known for its commitment to producing highly skilled legal professionals.
Are you sure this guy didn't write it with AI?
No, even if it does that, it is allowed, augmented intelligence. Now, this legal education broadened my understanding of the legal frameworks that underpin business operations and societal functions. The critical thinking and problem-solving skills honed during this period have been invaluable in navigating the complexities of the business world.
Okay.
With a solid grounding in both management and law, the next step was to gain international exposure and advanced business acumen.
Yours is good.
Now, this led me to enroll at in the MBA Petroleum Economics and Finance program at Coventry University in the UK.
To pay the fees.
Coventry University.
People have scholarships. They can't match funds to go.
Wait, internationally acclaimed for its practical and innovative approach to business.
Yes.
Now, the MBA program offered a global perspective, equipping me with cutting.
So from GIMPA to Moncrest to Coventry.
In petroleum economics and finance.
Okay.
No, hold on.
He's boasting now.
Bernard, you see, Bernard.
No, you go on.
Okay. Now, this experience was instrumental in refining strategic decision-making abilities and expanding my professional.
I know why he's your friend.
Now, the pursuit of knowledge did not end there. I continued my academic journey with doctoral studies at IPAC Business School in France. Now, and he goes on. Now, in addressing the critics who might suggest that owning a Dutch passport is more valuable than...
Hold on, left that argument.
It's the
tell him that the argument is dead in water, so it's okay. You shouldn't waste his PhD ink on that.
In conclusion, my remarkable achievement underscores the transformative power of a solid educational foundation. From my roots in Ghana to my achievements on the global stage, my story is a powerful reminder. It's a powerful reminder of the value of investing in quality education. My success is a source of inspiration, demonstrating how rich educational background can propel one to extraordinary heights in professional work. He is my friend. The point I'm making is that, Bernard, you see, we all look. I can easily say that in my family, I'm the first to get to where I am today, and I say that with all humility.
I know you're right.
Right? It did not happen by chance. I have seen difficulty. I've been where many of these people are today. It took. Look, I won scholarship to leave this country, but I had an accident.
It was tough.
That nearly messed with my head.
I'm really suspicious.
But Bernard, you see, for me to win that, it took years of hard work. Look, for so many years at Citi FM, I left here well after 1 a.m. But I got back here by 5 a.m. in the morning. Right? It was not given to me by chance.
On the silver platter.
I worked hard for it.
And there's also grace available.
And there was grace available. My mother prayed for me. You prayed for me. My wife prayed for me.
Yes, please.
And my kids do. You see, the point I'm making is that, look, you may be struggling today.
So good.
Don't lose hope.
Thank you.
At some point, someone will see the light in you and begin efforts to light it further up. Keep working. It will be okay at some point.